We lived through 2020. The world stopped. We stayed inside, glued to our screens, watching numbers climb. We thought that was the ultimate test. Then came 2026. The sirens replaced the silence. The lines on maps became more important than the lines on a graph. Today, we're asking the heavy question: is the 2026 war worse than the 2020 pandemic? Let's break down the similarities, the stark differences, and the lasting impact of these two global upheavals. The similarities: a world on edge. At first glance, they seem worlds apart. One was a biological threat, the other a human-made one. But the psychological toll shares a familiar rhythm: the sudden halt. In both 2020 and 2026, the normal world vanished overnight. Flights grounded, supply chains snapped, and the future became a giant question mark. The information war. Remember the confusion of 2020, the conflicting advice, the doom scrolling? 2026 took that and amplified it with deepfakes and targeted propaganda. In both crises, knowing what was true became a matter of survival, the redefinition of hero. In 2020, it was the healthcare workers on the front lines. In 2026, it's the soldiers and the volunteers. Both periods saw ordinary people thrust into extraordinary, life-threatening roles. The differences: nature versus intent. This is where the comparison starts to hurt. While both caused immense suffering, the nature of that suffering is fundamentally different. The visibility of the enemy. The virus was invisible. It could be anywhere, in anyone. It bred a specific kind of internal paranoia. The war, however, is visceral. It's the sound of artillery, the sight of smoke. It's an external, tangible threat. Difference 2. The intentionality. A virus doesn't have a plan. It just replicates. War is a choice. It's driven by ideology, resources, and power. That realization that humans are choosing to do this to each other creates a different kind of moral trauma. Difference 3. The infrastructure. During the pandemic, our houses were our fortresses. The internet kept us connected. In 2026, the infrastructure itself is a target. Power grids go dark. Communication lines are cut. The pandemic isolated us within our modern world. The war is actively dismantling it. Which is worse? So, back to our question: is the 2026 war worse? Many would say yes, because of the physical destruction. A pandemic leaves the buildings standing. A war leaves nothing but ghosts and rubble. The economic recovery from a war isn't just about restarting businesses. It's about rebuilding entire cities from the ground up. But worse is subjective. For someone who lost their entire family to COVID-19 in a lonely hospital ward, 2020 was the ultimate tragedy. For the refugee fleeing 2026 with nothing but a backpack, the war is an incomparable nightmare. The lessons learned. Perhaps the most important takeaway isn't which was worse, but how they've changed us. 2020 taught us about our global fragility. 2026 is teaching us about the cost of our divisions. We survived one. We are surviving the other. The question is, what kind of world will we choose to build when the sirens finally stop? What do you think? Is the human-made crisis of 2026 fundamentally different from the natural crisis of 2020? Let's talk in the comments. If you found this perspective valuable, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into the events shaping our world. Stay safe out there.